And so what I'm going to tell you today is a project that I designed with a colleague at the University of Mauritius, right? And I'm going to tell you why we did that. And so you can learn from that project because you can learn about the tasks that we did and so on. And this could be useful in your daily life as a teacher, right? Okay. All right. So I'm going to first of all, before I start with the project, I just give you a brief introduction because I'm going to go a bit quickly because we don't have enough time. We started late, right? Just to tell you a little bit about how there was a shift in the different approaches to teaching. And also, again, I am an EFL teacher, so I will refer to language teaching, right? Okay. So we first of all started with the traditional approach. When I was at school, I also used the traditional approach competence, right? In her view, it is used to reflect the view that language students need to have an insight into their own culture, as we said before, that is, they need to reflect, to have the knowledge of their own culture, and that is the language they are learning, the target language. It can be any language, it can be English, it can be French, it can be Polish, it can be Lithuanian, yes, we say Lithuanian, or Turkish, right? Okay, the target language, and therefore, so this is the insight, the knowledge they need to have, the exploration of their own culture, and that of the language, the target language, and then also need to be aware of the meeting of cultures that often takes place in communication situations.
Yes, but one point for me is missing, that just how, in what way can it strengthen their identity? Right, with kids, if this is only these
because you become more self-aware, your things that they maybe take for granted, if you get them to reflect on their own culture, what they're doing, because they're comparing with another.
I know, this is obvious, of course, but this is skills of interpreting and relating, ability to interpret information from another culture and relate it to theirs. This is the point, right?
Yes.
That should be elaborated while working with the kids or younger students, right? Okay.
But are you able to do that? Are you able to get your students to interpret information from another culture? Yes, you can.
Yes.
So maybe later you can tell us how you can apply this. Probably how you teach them to relate this information to their own culture. Perhaps this will be very interesting later.
So I think that teachers here are experienced in this, right? And they know, but there are many activities to do.
Yeah, that's right.
Because the stress is on, relating to others, which is very, very important.
Important, yes.
Yeah. Specific, because the language of the student is English, but this is bilingual school. But so we have 6 languages.
6 languages.
And the basic is of course English. So for them it's like in Belga school, I assume. For them it's so natural. We organize, for example, the plurilingual week, and for them, the students, writing in English is something so obvious they don't consider it a foreign language anymore. So for them, for this Arabic, Vietnamese, Japanese, Korean, and they learn those languages off the school. Because at school they learn Italian, Russian, German. They choose, of course. They can choose at least 3 languages, foreign languages.
So at school, at school they need to learn 3 foreign languages.
They must learn 2.
2.
The first is English,
English,
it's foreign. But they can have an extra option, like 3 altogether, maximum. But also they choose, extra curricular activities, and they choose Arabic, for example. But we have also, I must say, in Glasgow, unlike my friend, I think we have a lot of, I think I can say safely bilingual students, for example.
Yes. Right. Just accept everybody as they are.
I think that's a lot.
Yes. Yeah. That's right. Yes. Flexibility, open-mindedness. Yes. Yeah. But do you think it's easy? Is it easy? Do you think?
And I think you have to kind of be reminded regularly, because if you live and work in a community or a situation in your life where you don't travel, let's say, or don't communicate in other ways with people from different cultures and countries, for a few years, let's say, you need a refresher course or project or visit to kind of remind you.
Yes.
To take our children abroad.
Yes.
Because we don't face the same problem.
Yeah.
If it's a problem,
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
not a problem, it's just a different situation. We don't face that yet. But maybe probably we will face it sooner or later. So what we have to do is to take the children out of our country, small one, and open their eyes and
Yes.
see different countries.
Yeah.
This is our task
Yeah,
for
yeah.
our small children.
Yes.
And then we can just try to show them that they may learn many different languages. And
Yeah.
they will be motivated
That's
much more
true.
than just
Yeah.
to come and say, what do you want to do? They don't understand that.
No, that's true.
They are too
Yeah.
small for
Yeah, you're gradually, teaching them, leading them. Yeah. Because remember also that these young ones that you're teaching today will probably be the ones, going on their Erasmus programs later. Yeah, or they will be working abroad. So you're doing a very, very good job. You're preparing, the grounds for them, so that later in the future, they'll be really interculturally, but maybe not fully interculturally competent, but at least they will have, a good idea of how to behave when they are abroad. Yeah.
That the question arose very often. We were not ready with the answers, and throughout the project we came up with clear understanding what plurilingualism is, and I think that we will give an ample answer to that question during our final conference on Thursday. But you also were part of the discovery passage. You entered the project at different stages. Some were with us from the very beginning, actually, and perhaps we have the oldest participants here from the Czech Republic, not in the sense of age, but in the sense of project period. And also we have very